when Roger Goodell stands up, not necessarily against Trump's attack against DEI, but stands up and says, that's separate from what we're doing, he doesn't have to look any further than Trump's cabinet. You mean to tell me those are the most qualified people politically to do those jobs? Those are the most experienced people to do those jobs? President Trump is the exact reason you need diversity, equity, and inclusion.
It's about making sure that there is white supremacy in this country. And if we're honest, we will say that.
But we're treated to sort of similar comments to what Kerry made tonight about race, white supremacy, all of Trump's ideology and people and voters and everything. It's all about white supremacy. This was rejected in the election. Democrats ran this was the animating thing of the Harris campaign, and it was rejected.
Okay.
Was it?
And I am constantly shocked at what you're not aware of, which is Donald Trump's performance.
I'm constantly shocked at what you're not aware of.
I don't know. I tend to be more right about it than you are. But the reality is, he did better. He did better among minority voters than any Republican in a half a century.
Yeah,
and he seemed to be totally unaware of it.
Why is that?
But if you're going to come out and call half the country a white supremacist, I think you've got to explain it.
I didn't say the country. I said this was about white supremacy, because what he ran on was making America great again, which is another code word. You like to say woke.
But you're saying the election was about white supremacy.
I'm saying what Trump was about was making sure that he stays back.
It's not even.
Why they just? What is the outrage suddenly for?
Who benefited the most off of DEI? Everybody
We all know. We don't have to answer it because we know.
So, what argument do this
uphold?
I
don't know. I'm trying to figure it out.
See, and this is the problem. They pick these hills to die on that the American people wholeheartedly rejected. And I'm telling you, once we get it 1-2 years into this Trump administration, we start seeing the good things. Democrats is over with.
Yeah,
well, we kind of already now. Yeah,
it's 20 days into it.
I just don't see them winning
we
another
ain't seen nothing yet.
Staying with this same technique.
Well, people still is kind of dumb and still believing some of the stuff. Well, I haven't been seeing on the internet, so.
No, yeah, people are definitely still believing.
But did it work this time? Is more people gonna be woken up over this next 4 years? Yes.
Woken up to which way? What you mean?
Woken up that
they go
these talking points that they're saying.
Oh yeah,
BS.
Okay, that's why I said. You remember what I used to say? This is the new woke. It is now unwoke to be woke. The new woke is actually to be unwoke. If you can unpack that.
If race is not the issue, then why is DEI mentioned every single day as a solution to every single problem that faces this
Because of how pervasive it is.
And
how hateful it is to an actual conservative ideological view.
But do you think it is true that all of America's ills, from the plane crash to whatever it is, wildfires, to DEI, for real?
I think that if you believe in the fundamental principle of America, which is that we guarantee everybody an equal chance, not an equal outcome, but an equal chance, then trying to go around that principle, conservatives don't believe in it. And most people who believe in America don't believe in it, number one. Number two, the concept of not hiring the best person for the job in government or anywhere else has been repeatedly rejected by the American people, the Supreme Court, and everything else. And so
what do you get? So I guess what I'm saying is, like, if that is the case, then people are questioning the actual qualifications of many people Donald Trump hired for jobs.
Like who?
So do you think that he actually...
Why?
Because Elon Musk doesn't even go here.
Do you think that he...
That's why.
This is the question people
He's
are
a
asking.
billionaire.
She's trying to be funny.
Just asked. Did Donald Trump, for Health and Human Services, find the person with the best expertise to address
this is not a.
When it comes to the Department of Defense, did he find the person with the best expertise to address those issues, or did he just find people?
Did the Democrats elect the best person to run for the Democrats against Trump?
No. Trump 2-0 against them ragged Democrat women.
Asking, this is the question that Ryan Clark just asked. Did Donald Trump, for Health and Human Services, find the person with the best expertise to address those issues? When it comes to the Department of Defense, did he find the person with the best expertise to address those issues, or did he just find people
Political
who he liked?
appointees have one qualification. They serve at the pleasure of the president because the president believes that person's going to best carry out their agenda. That is the only qualification.
And it's happening right now.
Defend the Constitution.
And that is the only. That's the only qualification for a political appointee.
Doesn't matter.
Of course, they're.
Say it. Of course not.
Hold on. I'm just not ready. Is this 3 black women against the white guy here?
Brother, this is a day in the life of Scott right here.
I think Scott loves this.
Bro, before he goes on here, he does breath work. He be
bro. I think Scott actually loves this.
This is
he
the
must got
Democrats.
the Lord, bro, because he got peace for real.
The Democrats'
'Cause
finest
I would be
foot
getting riled
soldiers.
up.
Finest
They would
foot
have me riled
soldiers
up.
to get on Scott.
Yeah, they need Scott on
Every
there.
day?
They can't get an A.
Is he paid the most on CNN? Can we check somehow?
If they put Byron on there for too long, he might
gonna-
spaz out.
Yeah, he gonna get sick of it.
Like when he told that one girl, he was like, chill. She's like, don't tell me to chill.
Like, it might get bad. This shit is crazy.
The Constitution.
And
Yes,
that is the only.
also
That's the only qualification for a political
Okay,
appointee.
listen.
Doesn't matter.
Of course they're.
Say it.
Of course he
not.
believes
Of
they're
course not.
competent.
Of course-
If he didn't believe they were competent, he wouldn't appoint them.
You're not being fair with that. You're not being fair with that response. She asked you a very simple question: yes or no. Look at the appointees. Do you believe DEI had anything to do with those appointees? Do you believe they were qualified? Do you think they would protect and defend the Constitution that represents all of the people of the United States of America?
I think Mark Rubio.
I think you all have literally no idea how the government works, is what I actually
I do. I do.
The rest of you
He said you do, but the rest.
People at this table have served in the government.
Yeah, me too.
Including for this former president.
I just want to say that I think the premise that DEI exists and therefore the people that got the opportunity, perhaps because of DEI, are not qualified is a flawed premise.
Correct.
And I think that is what is so frustrating about the argument around DEI. We know in this country historically, and even today, there are still injustices in this country based on race, based on gender, based on ideology.
Based on who your daddy played
golf with. Yes.
Okay,
And
that
so-
happens every single day. We
It's
know
called-
But it happens every single day all over the planet.
That's
the
what I'm
Come
planet
on.
Earth. It is human.
Come
nature.
on. Thank
It
you.
is human in every
Come
single
on.
And we're the best at it. We're the best at trying
We know.
to
Donald Trump's our president.
Arthur,
He
I guess
is-
that's
that was
exactly
real.
my point. I agree with you. I
These
think that
people
it
are
is
idiots.
true that there have been preferences not for merit since the dawn of time, and that in this country right now, the same people who are going after DEI, which is about giving opportunities to people who have been historically marginalized, are just as willing to hire their friends.
Is that what equity means? Giving opportunity or guaranteeing outcomes?
No, it's giving
Because
access.
that's what equity means.
Ooh.
There's a difference. There's a difference between
Yeah.
equality and equity.
Yeah.
Giving
Facts.
access.
Hold on,
That's
let's
a
take a
fact.
pause.
That was real. Okay, hold
That's a
on.
fact.
Jordan Peterson talks about that all the time. There is no society where any type of system can guarantee you an outcome. It's just impossible. It's going to be
What do you
socialism.
mean, like perfect outcome?
So
Yeah, so
it's the equality of outcome, meaning everyone, we all are gonna have the same outcome. We're gonna make the same, people. No one's gonna be poor. Like there's
That's
no
just impossible.
society that in history has that ever existed. It's impossible. So the argument becomes, what is the best system? And America has the best system clearly because everyone wants to come here. We have the highest GDP. Like I think it's pretty. That's an argument I've never seen anyone debunk. Show me a country with a better system. I'll wait.
Well, also, I would like to point something out. They're like talking about like, oh, but your daddy played golf with, like where people getting connections off like knowing somebody, and they're trying to like highlight the fact that all of them are educated and they don't get the same opportunities. Well, a lot of successful people have like told me this phrase. It's not about what you know; it's about who you know.
Come on, everybody knows
Networking,
that.
shaking hands, getting in front of the right people, and proving that you can add value to their organization.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
or et
Abby's
cetera,
point-
et cetera.
But
Abby's
they're
point
on the
is-
stage right now, though. That's what's making more crazy.
Hey, bro.
I mean, in today's time, it's not a good point, because it's 2025. But her point is that white people have had more success in this country, so that white, people's kids come up and then they will just be there in that situation, and then they just hire their kids off the rip, and black people don't get that opportunity.
Okay, so what is that because of? That's because of the culture they've created. So that's just like when immigrants come to America and they are successful, usually always because of why? The culture they've created. What happened? The subculture, like we learned from Thomas Sowell, the subculture that has affected a lot of the black community is the reason why a lot of the black community is not doing well.
Yeah,
we all know this.
You can't blame it on nobody else.
The Asians, like you just look, I'm sorry, but if you just look at it like that, I mean, I don't see how. It's just
That's a
the
victim
debunking
point.
argument is when an African person comes here and looks the same, because they always hit the
That's
you
the
don't know
truth.
what is, you don't know how you're perceived. Well, an
Yeah.
African person is also black, the blackest. So the fact that they can come here, and I have the, remember, I got the numbers right here. I got the numbers right here. We're gonna put them on here. I'm about to send them on Twitter. Hold
was
on,
pretty
boom,
crazy.
right here.
Now that
This
debunks
quick.
it.
Hold on. Ask somebody to airdrop it.
I already seen like somebody Dinesh D'Souza already debunked that. He says it's not because they're smarter. He says just their culture is different.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That
He
does
said,
debunk it.
he said because he said black Americans could be just as successful, but other cultures value education more.
We got the source on here and everything. I screenshotted this. This is because of culture. It's the only, like, I don't see, like, that's a big disparity. 69,000 to 43,000 median. So you can't look at average, because averages are skewed, because some people are really, really rich. So that brings the average up. If you look at the median, that's gonna give you a better number. That's
So
crazy.
these
to
people
me.
are already here, correct?
I don't
Well,
know.
some people might have the
I don't know
argument. Some
what
people,
country that
That's
would
what
be.
I'm.
Some-
What African? Or this is
yeah.
black. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking at that. I'm looking.
Yeah.
I'm thinking this was it. Okay,
some
this
people
is,
will
maybe
put the
that's just me, I don't
argument.
know.
Some people will put the argument that it's because it's less of them. That's why it's so high.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you
I
can
mean,
make that
it's really
argument,
no.
but
I mean, the argument's
if there's
debunked,
less
though.
black people than white people, why is their shit so high?
Yeah, see, black people
Yeah,
say that they don't have the opportunities, but then people do.
I
You
just-
know,
I just
immigrants
think-
come here and then they
I just
create
think,
opportunity.
I really
Culture.
don't think
Boils
it's a
down to
lack of
culture.
opportunity. I think it's just a lack of like what we value in culture and et cetera, because I mean, it's plenty of street dudes with bust down diamonds and nice cars and chains and clothes. Where did they get the money for that? You know
We
what I'm
know
saying?
how.
Like,
They rap about
They're
it.
getting it somewhere.
Listen to the
they-
music.
It's not that they're not capable of being successful. They
But
get
music
money to
has
buy
a-
that stuff from somewhere.
I'm telling you, bro. Music has a huge impact on culture.
It's a difference. There's a difference between equality and equity.
No, it's giving
Carrie,
access.
I just want to answer his question because I
Wouldn't
think this
talent
is
and-
super.
and hard work give
Scott,
you
I think this
access?
is incredibly
In
important
theory.
for you
Facts.
to understand and for everybody to understand at home. Okay, this is where I think we go crossways on this issue. You just asked the question: what does equity mean? Does it mean equality or does it mean access to opportunities? And conservatives want to define it a particular way, but you have to acknowledge, I'm asking you to acknowledge that people who believe in DEI do not define it that way. They do not define it as equality.
I think they define it as trying to guarantee outcomes, and I think they define it
Can
as
I
trying,
speak
as
to the
trying
maybe
to
not,
punish
like-
people they don't like.
Scott, that's
The not-
politically, wrong race, wrong
Speaking from
Facts.
someone in the middle of the country who's not hyper-partisan on this issue, I think that people generally think diversity is a virtue. It makes businesses better. It makes institutions better. But they also don't like when you have companies or organizations that are spending huge amounts of money to stand up DEI office. As an example, Fairfax County Public Schools, $400,000 spent on a DEI office, but kids are not reading at the levels that they should. They're not advancing at the levels that they should. It's
I
not
actually have
the
a
issue
stat.
of
They're doing
diversity.
that before the office was stood up?
Well, no, and probably not. And so I'm not saying
so
the
maybe,
connection.
so maybe
It's the-
implementing DEI might
No,
actually help
but
people
it's
have
not
a
an
better
argument
educational
against
outcome.
DEI.
Maybe it's a waste of
How many
money.
resources
She's
are
so
we actually
stupid.
putting
But
to
that's
it?
that's not the way the conversation is being posed in America today. The conversation about DEI and woke and all of that sounds about marginalized black and brown people who already are threatened seem to be threatened in this community, in this society.
What about
and they're not
Africans?
getting the same opportunities. It was the same thing with affirmative action. Went to UCLA, they got rid of affirmative action. Everyone said you got in because of
I'm so glad you said
affirmative
that.
action. When I graduated, affirmative action didn't take my test. Affirmative action didn't help me get to where I'm at today. It gave me access that I didn't have based on the opportunity that I lacked because of the circumstances I was born into, which had nothing to do with me, but the country in which we live in. And so the reality is—
Have you seen the test scores of UCLA Medical, by the way?
My point being, Scott, is that everyone doesn't have the same access. People like to hire their friends. They like to hire the people that they like to be around.
Do you
and
think
all
they like
these-
to hire the
also
best people
do
for the
think,
job?
but I also think around the idea of diversity.
No, Donald
it
Trump
should-
hired all of his friends.
But
But I want to go back to people that are in
cap.
his cabinet
Pam
right
Bondi.
now. You know, because you are a smart man. I know you know this. I
Why,
know
why don't
play
you
with me
understand
like
how
you don't.
political appointments work? I don't understand.
They don't.
I don't know why
But
you
this
don't
is, can
understand
we
how
just go
DEI
beyond?
works.
Can we
I
just go
bet-
beyond?
They are not his
what's going
friends.
on the cabinet.
He literally just met Vivek.
Pam
He
Bondi
literally
is
just
his
met
friend.
all those people that he appointed.
Tulsi was on a Democrat.
Tulsi was a Democrat.
Bro, I
now
don't
she's
wanna
the
hear-
now she's the
and
director of
Elon
national
just got
The
intelligence.
biggest problem is the Elon, but it doesn't make sense.
They
that-
just got cool.
Why would in a society, right? Wouldn't the richest person in the world probably with the president like of the most powerful country, they would probably have some type of relationship. So the fact that Elon, it seems as if Elon is trying to do things that are going to help. I don't know. I mean, all these people loved Elon whenever he had the Teslas and they wanted to save the planet.
Did y'all know Elon founded PayPal?
Yeah. No.
He's one of the founders of PayPal.
No,
he
I
sold
had
it
no
for
idea.
$100 million, and that led to Tesla, and that led to SpaceX.
Yeah,
Somebody
I
was
saw
talking
that
to me about that yesterday at the gym.
That's
I was
crazy.
like, wait, what?
Hey, we're finna move on to the next clip. But hey, why would you want something called DEI and you get mad if I call you DEI? Taj hit me with that yesterday. And I was like, I thought about that already. It's just crazy. That's insane. You want it so bad, but then if I say, hey, you're DEI.
The issue in this country right now is we live in different realities.
That's right.
I live in a reality where I know I do not have the same opportunity. Issue in this country right now is we live in different realities.
That's right.
I live in a
She worked for
reality
Obama.
where I know I do not have the same opportunity as you. I know I don't.
You're sitting on the same panel.
Let me just tell you
Insane. As I'm sitting next to
I
you.
want to answer.
Biden Harris,
I'm not talking
2020.
about how you feel about
Hold on.
me, a black woman in this country.
But not in this city.
And I will run, and if you
Look,
want
I'm
me
a
to,
New Yorker, not in
I
this
will
city.
run
You
the
cannot say
facts.
that. You
I
can't
will
say
run-
that in this city. I have a.
I'm not talking about New York. I'm talking about
let her
Ashley
finish.
Allison
Okay,
right
let
here. I got a law degree, a master's, and 2 bachelors.
And here you are, on TV.
We all
Hold on,
end
bro.
up together
Damn.
at this table, right?
I'm sorry,
I'm
bro.
not talking about New York. I'm talking about Ashley
let her finish.
Allison
Okay,
right
let her
here.
finish. Let her finish.
I got a law degree, a master's, and 2 bachelors. Probably more education than all of y'all added up together at this table,
Fine
right?
by me.
And I have always been the least paid person on payroll at every institution I have worked in. And it's not
Even
because
in the White House?
even in the White House.
Well, whose fault is that? I don't think you worked for George W. or Trump.
Well, guess what? Yeah.
That's before DEI.
I love his response.
He started clapping.
Look,
I love his
You're-
response.
You're my friend. I respect you tremendously. I think you're probably the smartest operative in the Democratic Party, and they should listen to you more. That's number one.
there
Number
goes a
two,
foul.
you and I share a comparable background. We're both from the Midwest. We both come from middle-class families, lower middle-class families maybe. I actually think we share a lot of similarities in our journey. But I think you made it, and you are the most respected voice often at every room or every table you're in, not because of anything other than your talent and your work ethic.
She crying?
And that's all anybody ever is asking for.
Is she
is for
crying?
people with talent and work ethic to make it.
No.
And that's what I see.
Scott grilling, bro.
That's how I see you.
But let me tell you something about my story and my family
say
story.
something?
Is that we have faced discrimination. I have faced discrimination. I just said I was the least paid person, even in this moment sometimes, to my
Sometimes.
counterparts. It is
Now
just the
sometimes.
reality of the country we live in. And I'm not saying, I do believe I'm qualified. I know I'm qualified. You won't ever tell me I'm not qualified. But the system that I live in doesn't matter about my qualifications.
Then why are you here?
I don't agree
think we're
because
there
I,
in
when I
2025.
Oh,
I don't think we're there in 2025.
You can't don't
That's just not true. That's just not true.
There's
On the same panel.
evidence that suggests that you are wrong. Okay, let's just
Again,
take
I'm
Ashley.
New
Abby
York.
got
I'm
the
New
show.
York. I'm jaded. I am the attorney.
Go back,
General.
sorry.
Okay, we suggest that you.
No, real quick. Before that,
Okay,
Let's relax. Let's relax.
Live in doesn't matter about my qualifications.
I
I
don't agree
think we're
because
there
I
in
when I
2025. I don't think we're there in 2025.
You can't don't
That's just not true. That's just not true.
There's,
I don't know.
There is a mountain of evidence that suggests that you are wrong. Okay, let's just
Again,
take
I'm
Ashley.
a New
let's
Yorker,
just-
so I'm jaded. I am
okay.
the Attorney General is a
I'm
black
not-
woman.
okay,
The
we
mayor's
just-
a
we
black
just-
man. The head of the Senate is a
we
black
just-
person.
Okay, New York is a small
Okay.
representation.
Well, small. New York is not very small.
Chicago.
It's
the biggest city.
New York.
Every judge I appear before is either
Ashley
a woman or a person of color.
just gave an anecdote, but the numbers also show black women are one of the most educated demographics in this country and one of the least paid. Why would that make any sense?
Why would that make any sense?
because your
Don't talk to me
perspective is
about
your
the
reality.
Pause.
Talk to me about the theory.
Because your perspective is your reality.
Probably because y'all like Quintavious on the block, and then y'all have his baby, and y'all be single moms.
Your perspective is your reality. If you
That's
see yourself
crazy.
if you see yourself as a victim, you are a
I'm
victim.
wrong. I'm
If
wrong.
you see yourself as a victim,
Tell me
you
I'm
are a
wrong.
victim.
Tell me I'm wrong.
A lot
Tell
of
me I'm
people
wrong.
we've been seeing on
fuck
TV
outta
have been
here.
married.
No, hell no. They love Quintavious on the block, man. They don't want.
Another thing. Hold on.
Hold on. No.
One
I
more.
want to say something because she said I got all them degrees. what is that, 20 years in school? You a professional student. You ain't a professional worker. You mad that you ain't getting paid? You ain't got no work experience.
She's getting paid.
Well,
She
that's
don't
all
get
I.
in.
That's all I
She get
said.
10 to 20K to show up to talk about oppression and racism.
She can negotiate to have more of her pay. She probably just took first what she
No,
got.
I don't think
know.
she gets paid much on here, huh?
Bro,
You can ask for your higher pay.
She gets at least 100,000.
Hold on, bro. Real quick.
ask for
What does the Bible say about this? As a man thinketh, so is he. I'm telling you, bro. They've been through this shit. The perspective you see yourself is your reality, bro. All the people who think they could win, who won, thought they could win. If you don't think you can win, you're not gonna win.
Hey, but guess how much?
She said, hold on. I'm sorry, bro. Let me go to that real quick. She said there's a mountain of evidence or data to say that, okay, black people don't have a chance. Okay. Is there also
I don't think
a
that's what she
mountain?
meant.
Is there a mountain of data that shows the violence?
I don't think that's what she meant. She was talking about black women.
Okay. Well,
You know
black
what?
women,
You want to know something?
Okay.
There's
What's
also a
crazy?
mountain of
She get
data that
paid
say
20 bands to speak anywhere. If they ask her to come to an event,
You
they
seen
pay
that
her
on
20
Twitter?
Yeah, she get paid about like 20 bands.
Yeah. I
10
think I
to
seen. That's
10
what
to
I was.
20.
That's what I was thinking about.
and
Her network is.
I just think the data in black women are the most educated and the least paid. Well, there's a lot of other factors that factor in. I'm not trying to downplay black women, but also
It's just, but and
single
then again,
motherhood.
if you make over
Like
$60,000
But I don't
per
know,
year,
man.
you're in the top 1% of the world, and you are saying you are oppressed. Okay.
Leave it at that.
What are y'all getting degrees into?
And one of the least paid. Why would that make any sense?
Why would that make any sense? And don't talk to me about the judges you stand before. Talk to me about the theory.
Hold on.
Talk to me about the
But
world
it also-
in which we live in and
Let's
the
look at
system
the
that
United
we live
States
in.
Supreme Court. How can you say we're not going to look at that from the top to the bottom? And I'm talking about the legal
okay, New
system
York is a more
that I live in.
progressive
And we
state.
just got a black woman.
Hold up. Let me.
We just got a black woman on
Okay,
the
but you had a
board.
black man from
You brought
the
up the
70s.
You brought up the Supreme
Just
Court.
facts.
One.
Did you know, Arthur, that there are
Hold on. What percentage of it does it represent the United States of America?
Come on.
Why does it matter?
Come on.
We gotta go
That
back.
matters.
Why is it so hard
we
to
gotta- we can only
acknowledge what she just said?
can
Why
only
is it
have
so
30%
Why is it just
of
one?
justice.
Why is there only one Italian American?
No, but why is
Why?
it so hard for you to acknowledge what she just said about
didn't-
black women being the most educated
I
and
did
the most
acknowledge it. I said
underpaid?
Just
that's
say it,
not my
brother.
experience.
Okay,
If that
but
was
we're
the case,
because
let's
you're
have
not a
more
black
black women on the
woman.
No, I'm a New Yorker, and
But
that's
New
not
York
the way
is
it
not
is in New York.
representative of the rest
You're
of America.
correct.
That's
You are
also what's
correct.
It's also the
important.
most diversity in the country.
Well, that's exactly.
That's
so
not
of course
actually
there's
Houston
more
is.
representation
little
in
more
women.
representative.
And Scott, I think if you really see, you said something very beautiful. This is your friend. You guys share a lot of the same values. You guys think alike. You guys are literally friends off air. You text, you have good conversations. There is the yes and in that. There is something that says to me that you know what she's saying is true. You think she's smart. You know that she's smart. She's more educated than mostly everyone at this table. And so what she's saying isn't a lie. What she's saying is a real life experience. And so why is it so hard to understand why something like diversity, equity, inclusion
'Cause she's
needs to
stupid.
be a part of what we do in a system that never even acknowledged a group of people, never saw us as a human commodity. Just
We are
literally
now.
never noticed who we were. And now here we are years later asking for some simple rights, some simple civilities. She's asking to be paid like you get paid. She's asking to be acknowledged
She's not as
like
good
you
as
get
him.
acknowledged. And she knows that that is not the case because she is a black woman.
She had a high-ranking position in the
Hey,
White House
dear
of the United
friend,
States of America.
Dear friend,
She is one of the most celebrated political
let's
operatives in the
talk
country.
about, there's
Do you know how hard I had to work to get that?
Do you know how hard? Do you know how hard the son of a garbage man had to work at it? So I'm just telling you.
I'm not saying that, but
Talent and work
We're
ethic
not
are
saying,
everything,
we're
and that's
not,
why I think you're here.
It's not true. It's just not true.
Facts.
It's just not true.
The other thing
It's
is
never good enough. It's never good enough.
Access to opportunity.
No, bro, I want to flash out.
I know you don't want to think that that is true, but access to opportunity is
And
what
that's the word.
DEI is supposed to address.
And it
not
doesn't.
just
But it
when comes
doesn't,
to race,
especially for
although
black
race is
people.
important. But when it comes to women, when it comes to people with disabilities,
That's right,
when it
Brian.
comes to people from different socioeconomic brackets, from rural parts of the country.
I think that's
and
the
others.
biggest issue. There's different socioeconomic brackets
So now
more
we're
than
trying
race
to
and
say,
gender.
now we're trying to say
Fact. That's a great point.
that everything is equal just because I say it is, even though all the evidence.
Who said everything's equal?
Well, that's literally
said this
we're like
everything is
we're,
equal?
Everyone knows
we're
life
already
ain't fair,
living in a
bro. You
just said
meritocratic society, is what Scott and his colleagues want to say, when that's actually factually not true.
do you not think
Factually, it's
everything
not
is
true.
But I
equal?
think it's
I don't
generally,
think everything-
I think
of
it's
course not.
generally
So then
true.
what? So actually, okay,
But I think
then let's talk.
it'll seek its own level. I don't think the government should be telling us
Arthur,
to seek
Okay,
its
but
own
but
level.
you
DEI is
literally
not about.
earlier
Hold
just
on,
said-
DEI is not about the government. Y'all are talking to private companies
Yes.
and telling them you can't
Can't do
operate
it. It's
about
the
both.
way you
I
want to
think,
operate.
but Arthur,
But
you
it is
literally
about
just said, I don't think it will seek itself out because you literally just said human nature That's how we operate.
That's
so
right.
sometimes,
Yes,
which is why the
I
civil
think
rights
it's more
movement was
I
so
think it's more
important.
socioeconomic than it is.
This is why, like, when they
racial.
talk about like canceling the Department of Education, why they talk about the federal government. The reason why the federal government was so important, particularly for Black people to seek justice in this country, is because it was the one bastion of hope that people had when states took control and they had discriminatory practice laws.
And what was going on in
I have
Africa?
something to
How
say.
long ago? Tell me how long ago was that?
I have something to say.
How long ago was that?
We gotta go. We gotta go, but it was not that long ago.
I know.
What was
I have
going on
something to
in
say. I have
Africa?
something to say. I have something to say.
Yeah,
It was in
We ain't worried about Africa, man.
That's where the black people at. That's what talking about. They want to be the majority. Go over there, then, nigga.
I have something to say. They talking about the Department of Education and how Black people had to fight. Well, why are we not addressing the fact that only 18% of all Black fourth graders in the United States know how to read? Damn. Why?
That's a real
That's
stat.
a real stat.
I was just having an argument with
That's a real stat.
18%.
Look.
18%.
There's no way, bro.
I told Salo.
18?
I told him today. I
You're
said they need to
telling
get
me-
rid of No Child Left Behind.
You are telling me.
They need to get rid of it.
You are telling me 18%
Yes.
of fourth grade Black students can read only.
Hey, and that's why she's very.
If that is a true stat,
look, I'm gonna tell you about.
I'm leaving right now.
It possibly. I believe it possibly could be a
Here it
true
is right
stat.
here. Only 38% of Black 8th graders in the U.S. are doing math at a basic level compared to 86% of Asian kids, 72% of white kids, and 90% of their parents claim that their children are performing above average.
Okay, so yeah, I can
That's
believe
discrimination.
that.
And it says 18. It says 18%.
DEI.
It says 18% of Black fourth grade students perform at or above proficient level in reading.
Hey,
At or above, only 18%.
4% of Black Detroit fourth graders are proficient in reading.
4%.
8% of Wisconsin's Black fourth grades are able to read.
I told you what they need to get. Hey, y'all say I was tripping for saying this. We need to get rid of No Child Left Behind.
okay, man. Yeah, guys. Hey,
Hey,
look,
in Texas, only 27% of Black fourth graders know how to read at grade level. When I was in the fourth grade, when I was in elementary school, we used to take a reading test, AR test, and based on the score you got, they would give you a card, and that card was your reading level. When I was in third grade up in elementary school, I could go anywhere in the library based on the color card I got. It was kids in the color book section. I was never one of them kids. I could read at a 12th grade level since I was in the third grade.
And that's why you are allowed. You on this panel right now, brother,
was
speaking
forced to
facts.
read.
That's why they're allowed to be on this
I
panel.
just gotta keep it 100, bro.
Speaking bullshit, though.
If my son can't read, I'm gonna be pissed off.
That's how bad it is for niggas. If you can articulate a little bit, you are a unicorn, brother. They look at us and call us unicorns. Scott basically just said, I'm not gonna say he said that, but he said, hey, she's a dumbass. And he said, hey, you know what? You're here because you worked hard.
And she said, then he gave her a props, he patted her on the back and
guess
said, you're one of the most celebrated people in the Democrat Party you get respect. Oh, but do you know how hard I work for that? You gotta work for anything.
Look, and if she is a person to look up to, then that should tell you everything that these people don't listen to niggas.
And y'all talking about, black people have to fight for the Department of Education. The same Department of Education that we're paying for our young Black children to grow up and only 18% of them can read? And y'all fighting tooth and nail for this shit? Hey, I'm telling y'all, these leaders, these women on this panel who are fighting tooth and nail for the Democrat, y'all gonna be the death of us. That's just my opinion.
They're dumb.
Hey,
As a
that's
Black
what I
person,
said.
these leaders, these Democrat leaders, y'all and Jasmine Crockett, you,
Al
Ashley,
Sharpton.
Carrie, Ashley, Abby, y'all gonna be the death of us. That's what I got to say.
Because if these people are
Y'all
popped
selling
up,
us out.
As Black people, then that's a problem.
Y'all selling us out.
That's it.
Hey, you know what I said?
No, I'm actually
Get rid of No
genuinely
Child
upset,
Left
bro.
Behind.
It says 43% of the Black youth of Black males under 18 are in juvenile facilities and 34% of Black girls.
I know, bro.
In
We
what
can
in
go
what
on
state?
and on. Bro.
America. That's
We'll
an
go-
American stat.
43%.
43% of American youth under the age of 18, Black boys make up 43% of the male population
make
in
up.
juvenile facilities,
Oh, yeah, that
and
makes
Black
sense.
girls make
And they
up
want to
34%.
keep those kids as
But they
victims.
want to fight tooth and nail for our kids to go to jail and be stupid, can't read.
And then they want to make kids victims. And they're on the same panel as Scott. Come on, man. Hey, man, we're out of here, guys.